name is Beylen. I'm an Ethiopian and Palestinian adoptee who grew up near Boston, Massachusetts. I've been connected to AMS since 2021, and my first mentoring session was when I was a sophomore in high school. And now being a sophomore in college, I still find AMS to be a really fun and inclusive and supportive environment that I can turn to at any time. Like I said, I've participated in one-on-one mentoring program for quite some time now, and I feel like it's really helped me come to terms with my adoption, the positive and negative aspects, and then also just the things that I couldn't understand. I'm so glad that you've decided to schedule a session, but I bet you're probably feeling pretty unsure about what this might look like. If so, don't worry, I felt the same exact way too. When I had my first session, I was not fully on board, to say the least. All I knew was that my mom had set up a Zoom session for me to talk to someone about my adoption. I didn't know who I was going to talk to, I didn't know what we were going to talk about. Honestly, I was just nervous and confused and had no clue what was ahead of me. Looking back, there were some tips that might have been helpful to ease my apprehension, and I'd love to share this with you. First, have you thought about what your goal is, or why you even want to be mentored by an adoptee? It's kind of a big question, and I know many adoptees, like myself or yourself, know they feel off but aren't really sure how to pinpoint that or why. Or we've had great upbringings and super happy family, but something just doesn't feel right. If this is the case for you, this might be part of your goal. Maybe it's simply just to try to understand my adoptee identity. Another tip that I found pretty useful was to have an open mind. Though it sounds simple, it can be quite hard, especially if we already have strong preconceived notions about adoption. Whether it's being open to suggestions that your mentor provides, hearing other perspectives, or even just questioning your own beliefs and ideas, having an open mind is a really good way to make the most out of your mentorship experience. My third tip for you is to not be afraid to ask questions. These questions could be about birth families, adoptee resources such as books, movies, culture camps, or these questions could even just be about shared interests or their hobbies. In many counseling environments, it's typical for the attendee to do a majority of the talking. But with AMS, your session will most likely flow more like a conversation. It's just as important for your mentor to get to know you as it is for you to get to know your mentor, which I love. During my sessions with my mentor, we would talk about how my week was going, relationships with friends, and interspersed throughout, she'd provide examples of how she's felt similar throughout her life and offer new terminology and examples related to adoption. One of the biggest things that I've gained through mentorship is the idea that it's okay to not always be grateful or even just feel like I owe something to my adoptive family. Because of this experience, I feel like I have a such more intact sense of self, and I've made some really great friendships with people all over the country. Again, I'm so glad that you've decided to schedule this session, and I hope that this video eases a little bit of stress or makes you feel a little bit less unsure about what's to come.